Let's go to the board. It's brought to you by FanDuel. It's FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. All lines from FanDuel on Thursday. And we are going to start not with a Thursday or a Friday play like we've done. There isn't one, and I don't want to force it.
This is a primo game. Delivery of the week?
Delivery of the week.
It's brought to you by Hungry Howie's Flavored Crust Pizza, the official pizza of Cash the Ticket.
Top 10 matchup in the Big Ten.
Number 3, Ohio State laying 4.5 as they host number 7, Penn State. Big noon on Fox, which I think is big bullshit. This should be a night game or a 3:30 kick. I digress. This screams 24-20 one way or the other. When I started to do the cap on this, and we look at this, you take Ohio State, 94th running the football, only about 3.6, 3.7 yards a carry. You go to the offensive side for Penn State, just no explosiveness. They don't throw it down the field. Allen and Singleton, who are stud 1-2 combo at running back, no explosives in the ground game. Mm-hmm. They just kind of bleed you to death. They lean on you. Going to throw a little 6-yard pass, going to get a little 4-yard run. We're going to get a 3-yard run and a 5-yard run and a 7-yard pass. Look, my initial thought in this was, okay, all of us have doubts about Ohio State. And I'm starting to wonder that, maybe Boogeyman doesn't exist here. Maybe they don't have this other gear. Yet, the market is paying them big respect. Mm-hmm. For instance, Ohio State is still only catching 3.5 in the future line against Michigan, where right now that looks like a complete mismatch. Penn State might have the best defense in America. I've been saying that since August. I think I've at least been mostly validated there. Their corners, OSU receivers, I'm not telling you anybody can shut Marvin Harrison down, but they've got a pair of them. And Manny Diaz is going to heat them up. McCord is not going to have a ton of time. That offensive line for OSU is a problem. So I guess what I'm saying is everything guided me two ways here. Either or both Penn State getting the 4.5 or the under.
But everybody's betting the under. To the tune of 98% of the money is on the under.
That is.
Because everybody sees what you see. Two teams that could get bogged down in a close matchup, which is why the better play.
Don't you say the over.
No.
Oh, thank God.
Penn State and the points.
Okay.
But I feel like I'm going rogue a little bit because games in Columbus, James Franklin 0-9 against top 10 teams on the road. OSU is the right side if you believe the SP+. OSU is the right side if you like betting against the public. Penn State hasn't won in Columbus since 2011. Everything points to Ohio State, but I want to go rogue and bet Penn State because of the football reasons. Penn State can get home, pressuring quarterbacks on 50.5% of dropbacks.
And if Ohio State can't run it, which they're not at 3.7 a carry, and I get you in a passing down, which allows Manny Diaz to bring the pressure looks, to put McCord under duress, and then I factor in that when I blitz, when I pressure, my corners are good enough to cover, but they're also going to know the ball's coming out quick. Mm-hmm. It's a recipe for a lower scoring game. And if you like the under, you generally like the underdog. So, yes. And look, I understand, if you bet this game preseason, you were catching 9.5 or 10.
10 even, yeah.
But early in the week, there was a 5 and a 5.5 out there. 4.5 is still a powerful number to me. So if you're asking me, I got to pick between these two, I'll take Penn State getting the 4.5. Yeah. I just think it's going to be a close game.
You mentioned their corners, their secondary, some of the numbers, and some of this is tough because they haven't played a great schedule either. But Penn State's the number one pass efficiency defense in America. The gap from 1 to 2 is the same as the gap from 2 to 25.
What?
In pass efficiency defense.
Oh, my God.
So, again, some of that's their corners, some of that's they get home. And they're the number one sack team in the Big Ten last year and this year, and it's Manny Diaz that you give the credit to. Yeah.
Great stat by you.
So I feel like it's Penn State with the 4.5. Because, again, James Franklin might fuck this up at the end. It's in his DNA. He's human heartburn.
Almost a mortal lock.
Yeah, but then you have the 4.5, and you feel good at the end of the day.
For me, the only, if you want to go the Buckeye side of things, McCord has gone on the road against a ranked team in big spots. Who's Drew Aller had to face? What has been asked of him? And this whole idea, I'm not the guy asking Franklin at the presser, hey, you think you ought to just throw it deep?
That exchange for people who didn't see it?
I understood.
Theater, cinema.
I understood what the guy was trying to
He
get
just
at.
phrased it terribly.
It was horrible.
He's like, it's like Madden, right? You just go and throw the fly route.
But my
coach is like, we never just tell our guy to throw it deep with no reading of the coverage.
But my point would be, we're 6-7 weeks into the season. Aller has. Do they have a completion of over 40 yards in the air?
So they are dead last in 40-yard plays in college football. And if you just want to 40-yard plays are fluky, 20 plus is like the rule for explosives. They're 129th. So
I'm going to lean on the defense. Look, this is not going to be some huge play. This is going to be a standard bet. Just because it's a big game doesn't mean it's a great betting game, but I like 4.5. I'm going to take Penn State. I still lean under, but what's our rule? Hey, sometimes the public does win.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, here's my question. Can you build a case to the over?
Ohio State's, I'm going to attempt to do it. Ohio State's receivers are elite. The best of the best in college football. Even great college corners aren't going to contain them for 4 quarters. McCord will pop a couple big plays.
Yeah.
Aller has the ability to do the same. So I read a piece in The Athletic. They were talking about personnel. Coaches don't think Ohio State's secondary is nearly as good as it's been. So maybe this is a spot for Aller to hit a couple chunk plays through the air. He's due. That'd be the case for the over, right?
Well, and Penn State doesn't give up sacks. That left tackle there is going to go top 5.
Yep.
I don't want to butcher his name. What's his last name?
It starts with an F.
Fumatimi?
Sure. But it's not just him. It's the whole line. 200 yards a game, and they don't give up sacks. I mean, they are a unit up front, which is why I feel like you can go on the road, hit the quarterback, protect your quarterback, run the ball. And I do think they have the better quarterback in this game. I do think Aller's better than McCord.
Olumuyiwa Fashanu? Whatever. Guy going top 5 in NFL is what I would put on the back of his jersey. He's fantastic. So continue. I'm going to take Penn State. I'm going to take points.
We both are on the Nittany Lions.
Okay.
Next game. I need your help with, because you're very confident in this one.
Yeah, time out. It's not.
How about this? You're more confident than I am. It's number 6, Oklahoma. Yeah. They're off a bye at home, minus 19.5 against Central Florida.
Yeah. Look, I like the spot for Central Florida for a reason. They've played the last 3 weeks. They have not had their starting quarterback, John Reese Plumlee, and he is the engine to the offense. Former Ole Miss transfer, run-first quarterback, team captain. You're not going to be the same team without him.
Correct.
Now, Oklahoma, clearly, I am not in any way, shape, or form telling you they're in danger of losing this game, nor is this slander that they're not a good football team. They are. But I will continue to go to this. I was on Cincinnati the week they played, and you go, well, why the hell would you bet that garbage? Oklahoma's defense is allowing people to move the football up and down the field, and they do a real nice job in the red zone. Noted.
And taking the ball away.
Yeah, no doubt. They're living on the turnovers. And, hey, Quinn Ewers opened the game with a brain-dead pick. Mm-hmm. You had the tipped interception because the receiver was brain-dead. But you took advantage of turnovers. It's what you do. Well, with UCF, that Gus Malzahn, that ground scheme, he said this week after practice that John Reese Plumlee is, quote, close to 100%.
He's going to play then.
That is my Now, listen. If John Reese Plumlee is out, you can't bet this game. You can't bet this game, okay? But here's a theory for me. I'm big on, and it's a horse racing principle. You never want to you don't want to bet a horse the day he's being asked or she's being asked to do something they've never done before. Whether that's the surface, whether that's the distance, whether it's facing winners for the first time. College football is very similar in this regard to me. You do not want to bet a team going on the road for the first time. You don't want to bet a team facing a mobile QB for the first time. You don't want to bet. So, there are these things.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has not seen a mobile QB.
Well, Emory Jones.
He is not mobile.
Guy runs it 15 times a game.
For 4 yards. I'm talking about a true. John Reese Plumlee can take the ball 65 yards for a touchdown.
He's a better quarterback than Emory Jones, but Emory Jones is a mobile QB.
Okay. My point is,
if you want to say this is the most dynamic mobile quarterback
they have not
faced
faced a dynamic QB.
Okay.
Although, look, bottom line is I put Emory Jones on par with Quinn Ewers as far as scrambling and grabbing an 8-yard carry. John Reese Plumlee is a guy where he's an intricate part of the run game. Here's the power stat I found, and this is courtesy Action Network. Gus Malzahn, 12-4 against the number. That's 75% people. With 10 or more days to prepare for somebody. And they not only cover, they cover by an average of 9.5 points a game. I just think it's a UCF spot. You're getting a juicy number here. To me, this should probably be 16.5. You're getting 19.5. If you want to go alt line in some of your parlays or a teaser, I mean, a power numbers like UCF getting 24.5, 25. I like UCF here. And again, Oklahoma can win this game comfortably, win 38-21, and we're still good. I know Oklahoma's a personal issue to you, so I'm not going to beat you up on this.
I like both these teams. Like, truth be told, the way they play. Like, I've been in on Oklahoma since the start of the year. I don't think this is like a spot. We talk spots. Coming home off a bye, I don't think this is a spot where they're vulnerable. That's not a shot at Central Florida because, like you said, Gus Malzahn, I love that spread run. 3rd in the country in rushing. And you throw Plumlee in, they're going to move the ball.
And you get your engine back, and I just feel like they could hang in here.
But my concern is the other side of the ball. Central Florida has one of the worst run defenses in America.
Yeah, not optimal.
And Oklahoma struggled to run the ball early, looked like they found something against Texas. Yeah, their O-line was mauling people. This Walker kid, this battering ram at running back.
That's where you won that game, too. There was the turnovers, and then, honestly, OU's offensive line was so much better than what I gave them credit for.
So if Oklahoma runs the ball and runs it well, that's put away. Those are put away drives. Those are drives that allow you to cover spreads.
So let me give you the alternative.
That's my only hesitation. If Oklahoma was vulnerable, if there was a matchup I thought they were weak against, I don't see that.
If both teams are running the football, what does that lead you to?
The under.
Which leads you to?
The dog. What is the total? 60. It's mid to upper 60s.
Boy, howdy. Hold, please, buddy. Let me find that for
because maybe that's the way to play this game.
The total is, oh, my dear baby Jesus.
What is it?
You're not going to like what I have to say to you. This is the friendship total of the week. We have to go under 66.5. 34% of the bets make 72% of the money to the under. Do we dare?
I don't like it, but that's probably because it's the right side. Because no one's going to want to bet the under in this game. Because if Plumlee's back, and Dylan Gabriel's a playmaker, and these two quarterbacks score a bajillion points, but we bet the under. We bet run game, running clock, new college football. We bet under.
And I want to see, if you're getting 19.5, 42 to 27. No, that pops it at 72.
Don't make it the friendship total.
Okay.
There's a better total later in the day in the hashtag night heavy portion of
but I am
pod.
betting UCF. I'm going to take the 19.5.
It's not an obvious one for me, so I'm going to stay away.
Oh yeah, I'm not pressuring you on this. I'm not making
this is no bully corner.
But no, because Oklahoma's a personal thing to you, and I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Arkansas, Mississippi State. This is here not because we're betting this game, I don't think.
I wanted to, but I needed your help. Okay, so guys, when we talk about a lot of this stuff, for the seasoned vets, you know what I'm getting at. Like you hit if you view teams like stocks, the idea of buying low, you want to buy the dip. Have you hit rock bottom yet?
Have they?
Arkansas has lost 5 in a row. I want to repeat that. Arkansas has lost 5 in a row. They're at home. This is arguably one of the last winnable games they got. Everybody wants to fire Sam Pittman right now. Rocket Sanders is out, their star running back. But here's the interesting part. When you go under the hood of Arkansas's season and you start bringing up their schedule and you start looking at the anatomy of who have they lost to and how, it actually paints an interesting picture here to bet on Arkansas. Look, if I give you their last 5 games, it started way back September 16th. They lose to BYU 38-31. They go at LSU, they lose 34-31. They go to A&M, they lose by 12. They go to the Grove, lose 27-20 to Ole Miss. Go to Tuscaloosa, lose 24-21.
Close losses.
They're in these games. Now, the other side of it as well, they were a 17.5-point dog against LSU. Easy cover. They did not cover against A&M, but they cover easily against Ole Miss, and as a 20-point dog, cover easily against Bama. So then you factor, all right, well, Miss State, you can look up on ornaments of shame. We've got the Mississippi State Bulldog taking a dump, which is one of your picks. Mississippi State stinks.
Correct.
They can't stop anybody. I just wonder, you got a 3-3 Miss State team coming in, and they're catching 6.5 from 2-5 Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the bottom of the market where the number probably ought to be closer to 10, but because of what's been going on, you're getting a little discount?
They're losing all the one-score games and close games. I don't like laying points for a team that can't close games out.
I only put it on here as a discussion
I
point.
like the note because I do think you want to bet teams at or near rock bottom. Now, have they reached rock bottom? There's a case.
They haven't.
But, Mike, if it's not this week, is there going to be a chance to bet them again before the season's over? This is the remaining schedule. After this game, they will then have 2 weeks to prepare to go to the Swamp. Could we get a nice, juicy number there? If not, they get Auburn at home, FIU, they'll be favored, and then home against Missouri to end the season. I do think there's going to be a chance in the next 4 or 5 games to bet Arkansas. I don't like laying points with a team that's shown an inability to win close games.
Yeah,
I don't want to lay the points.
I'm not mad about it, believe me. Like I said, I pride myself in the fact that we as a podcast cover a shit ton of games. And sometimes we talk our way into stuff, talk our way out of stuff, but we're given copious amounts of plays.
Like if Sam Pittman backed into a corner into November and we're getting 10.5 somewhere or 7.5 somewhere, we can go, you know what? This team is. That's what I'd prefer rather than lay in 5 or 6 points.
I'll lay off it.
The next matchup is the noon kick on CBS. Not by land, sea, or air. The service academies have let us down this season and our country, by the way.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Jim going political.
We got to be able to bet these guys with some degree of certainty, and they've let us down at every turn.
I know,
it was Navy in week 0. It was Air Force a week ago, and was it Army against somebody along the way? I mean, I don't know if we've hit on any of the service academies this season. Now, the spread in this game is Air Force minus 10.5 against Navy. Air Force quarterback is injured.
Laurier out. He hurt his knee late in the game. They brought in Jensen Jones or whatever his name is, and he promptly fumbled to fuck our cover. Thanks. Appreciate you asking.
Is Navy nicked up too?
Navy lost the starter, then Lavatai or whatever his name. He's dinged up and hurt. They played a true freshman. And look, they played Charlotte, and the game finished 14-0. Understand, there's one auto play, which I'm not going to demand that you do, but there's one auto play when service academies meet.
Mm-hmm.
You play the under. Playing the under when service academies meet, it hits at like 75%.
Yes, it was 41.5. It is, as of today, 34.5. It's a full touchdown less than what I'd want it to be.
It's a backup quarterback and a third-string quarterback. It's 2 teams that run the ball, and it's going to be a highly condensed game.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the 2 sides in this game, and I am leaning towards not playing either. It's under 34.5, and it's Navy plus 10.5. You don't lay double digits with a service academy in a service academy game. This game last year, I believe, finished 13-10. 13-10. 13-10.
The answer might be to bet the under then. Then I don't have to bet on Navy or Air Force. I can bet on both of the offenses to be incompetent.
You just bet on a 7-possession game, 4 10-minute drives.
Yeah. Clock keeps moving in college football.
I think you have to bet the under. But
I'll do it.
The 34.5 is difficult. I mean, Jim, 20-17 beats you. Are you really, you want to sign up for that?
If Air Force was healthy, I think I'd take them minus the points. I really would.
Well, here's the other thing.
But they're not.
Everything I keep reading, Jones has a big arm, but they don't want to throw it.
No.
They run it. They run it some more. They run it again. You know what Navy's weakness is defensively? Their secondary's a toilet bowl. Well, if you don't throw it, they know how to make a game ugly. But if you like the under, you like Navy. Here's my question. Is there a scenario where Air Force just wins a 20-7 game?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then you stay away from Navy.
And you bet the total.
You go under 34.5.
Yes, I'm doing
This is what we're doing.
Hey, I bet some grimy totals, including last week. I'm not opposed to doing this.
God, I don't want
And you explained why the number's gone down a full touchdown. It's injuries at quarterback. So if you can explain the live movement, it's a little easier to justify making the play on it. What you don't want to do is like, why is this moving? I don't get it. Don't.
I don't get it.
Then don't bet it.
This sucks. All right, go ahead.